What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys, and here we are with How America Messed Me Up, the part 2 of this video. And before we dive in, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up. Let's do this.
When I first graduated university about 11 years ago, I got a job at a French market research firm in Chicago. And so they had offices all over the place, and I worked with a lot of people in Canada. And I remember one of my colleagues just was like gone one day, and I hadn't heard from her for a while, and I just thought she got fired. Around a year later, she comes back to work, and I find out that, oh, she had a child. And she had been off for a year for her maternal or parental leave. And I was like, what? You get a whole year off? I mean, Americans, if they're lucky, get like 12 weeks.
If you're lucky.
I remember a lot of teachers from when I was a kid would save up their vacation days year over year if they knew they were going to have a kid so that they could actually take off a few months, and they'd have to use all of their vacation days to do this.
Yep.
It's just mental to me that America considers itself a family-based society and like can't even give parents a good start.
So
America, first and foremost, is about the almighty dollar. If you grow up in America, you know that. If you grow up outside of America, you know that. When it comes to America, first and foremost, it's about the almighty dollar here. And that's the end of the story. Any terrible decision, good decision, any decision made by America are made because of the almighty dollar. All right, but let's continue.
Family-based society and like can't even give parents a good start.
So for me, it was a few different times all while I was living in Australia. One time with the various shootings that we have here in the States, my boss came to me and he was like, "Are you okay? How are you feeling? Do you need some time off?" And I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Because I heard about the shooting that happened back in the States." I had to sit there and have an honest moment with myself and him to realize that I had built up a numbness to all the shootings because they happen all the time. So that sucked. Number 2,
factual.
I have horrific cramps. I always have. They make me pass out. I throw up. I've been in the emergency room I don't know how many times at this point. It's just how it's been. I fought against it, but I finally had my roommate take me to the emergency room, and my total was $100 when I left. As someone who was only on a working holiday visa and not a $2,000 bill like it would have been in the States.
Factual.
So we live in Ireland, and our oldest is in senior infants, which is the equivalent of the second half of kindergarten. She did kindergarten back in the States. And she came home from school one day and she said, "Mommy, we had a drill today." And I go, "Oh, active shooter drill? No. Bomb threat? No. Mommy, it was a fire drill." Well, oh, okay. I mean, back home, she had active shooter drills every month in kindergarten.
Oh,
we get these phone calls and it'd say,
every
in
month?
accordance with Florida law, blah, 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 everything's gone back to normal. And I'm just sitting there thinking of my kid hiding in a bathroom with 30 other kindergartners and her poor teacher trying to keep all these kids quiet. I'm like, that's not normal here. That's something we got used to because that's what America is. It's just one big active shooter drill.
Unfortunately, she's preaching facts. But my school, I never had them every month. But the fact that we had to have them in the first place is absolutely horrifying and sad. The fact that she immediately assumed it was an active shooter drill is crazy. I did think fire drill at first. I was like, fire drill, tornado, what? But the fact that because every month they had them, that her head went automatically to active shooter drill is heartbreakingly sad.
My son was 5 years old the summer that we moved to Portugal. And once the school year rolled around, I took him shopping for some new clothes, some shirts, some shoes. And it reminded me of how the year before, when we lived in Texas, we had done the very same thing, except he had begged me for a pair of those really cool light up sneakers.
I had some of those.
That I loved and he loved. Yeah. But it broke my heart to have to tell him no, because I did not want him to become an easy target if ever there was a school shooting. And being in Portugal, shopping with him, and not having to worry about that for the first time in my life was a really big aha moment.
I guess I've never been a parent. Well, I got a child on the way. So I never had to think about light up shoes making your kid a target. I guess I guess if there's an active shooter, you don't want your kid to bring any kind of attention. So if he take out running and maybe at the corner of their eye they see some light up shoes, yeah. But if I ain't never thought light up shoes would make you easier target. I guess that's something I've never had to think about. I don't know. But it's sad that somebody do got to think about that.
There's a lot. This might have to be a series, but here's the first one that comes to mind. It's really two things in one. One night in mid-November, I woke up. I was having really bad chest pains, and I was like cold sweating and everything, all of the symptoms of a heart attack. And I was sitting there in my bathroom like, should I call 112 for an ambulance? It's going to be so expensive. There was a moment I literally thought about riding my bicycle to the hospital because it's about a 10-minute bicycle ride away from my apartment. I called the ambulance in the end. It was completely covered by my insurance. After I had the heart attack in the hospital, it was around 5 or 6 in the morning when I woke up. And I remember the first thing I thought was, I need to get my phone. I have to tell my boss I can't come into work today. I mean, the first thing wasn't like calling my mom.
Yeah.
It was literally calling my work because I didn't want to get fired.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to get fired in the Netherlands for that.
Oh, I've got a
Sad.
couple. So I'm from Los Angeles and I live in
Sad.
Austria. And basically when I first started working here, they were like, you get 25 days vacation, Fridays off early, and if you're sick, don't come into work. And I was just like, I was floored. Because in the US, you only get 10 days vacation and like 5 sick days, and you don't get Fridays off early. You better work your ass until it's 9 p.m. On top of all of that, all my friends have like 2 masters, 3 PhDs, etc., 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 because education here is actually free.
Beautiful.
Amazing. What an amazing
Beautiful.
concept. In addition, I have yet to see a large homeless community out in the open here in Austria because the government actually offers some social support. A lot of social support. In LA, you have villages, streets, blocks full of homeless people because our government doesn't care about us. And here, people like don't measure their worth off the car they drive.
Okay, so I live in New York now, but I used to live in England, and one time I was out at this bar with my friends, and these 2 cops walked by, and one of my friends was like, oh, I wonder why there are cops out right now, and I looked at the cops, and I got really confused, and I was like, those are cops? And my friends were like, yeah. And I was like, they don't have guns. And everyone was like, why would they have guns? They were like so aghast at that question, and I realized in that moment back and learned that guns, there are so few guns in the UK, and it's such not an issue that like the everyday cop does not carry a gun. And I was just, there are houses in America that have seen more guns in them than a fresh vegetable. It blew my
And he not lying about that one bit.
fucking mind. I think about it all the time. I hate guns so much.
Okay, so I'm not currently living abroad, but I did live in Australia for a few months. And one night while I was there, I got a little bit too crazy, and I ended up on public transportation without a phone. And I had to find my way back to my apartment, and I got lost. And while I got off the tram to get onto a different tram to take me home, a middle-aged gentleman came up to me, and I immediately went into attack mode, and I was like going to kill him. And he was like, no, I was just gonna tell you which tram to take to get back to Preston. And that was when I realized that in Australia, I didn't need to be afraid. Like, granted, take precautions, but I didn't need to be afraid of every man. But in America, I still am.
I get a lot of
That's
anxiety.
sad. That's sad to me because you think about how much time she has been attacked by men, I guess, or how many times that has happened to her in America, where she's been attacked. The fact that she thinks every man in America would be like out to get her instead of being willing to help her. It's definitely a sad reality.
Anxiety when I go into big places like shopping malls or movie theaters or really anywhere where a mass shooting has taken place in the United States. So like even here in the Netherlands, if I go to the Hoogkaterijnen Mall in Utrecht, I will be like looking all over the place for where the exit is all the time, just in case someone comes in and decides to shoot up the place.
That's crazy.
Which is probably really unlikely to happen in the Netherlands. Same thing for movie theaters. When I go into the hall where the movie's playing, where are all the exits?
Wow.
There's this like security awareness campaign that started in the US after 9/11 where it's like, if you see something, say something.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of pressure to put on your entire fucking population. basically turned us into a bunch of nervous people ready to be shot at any moment. And you like need to have a plan.
I could do so many of these. Okay, I'll just pick one. So I lived in China for 11 years. I worked with Chinese people, but also people from all over the world. So this one day I was talking to a guy from the UK. I don't remember how we got on this topic. We're talking, and I must have said something about like, yeah, I wouldn't want to burden somebody with my problems, you know? And I won't forget this changed how I think about this issue and interact with people. And he goes, It's so weird that Americans think that by talking about your problems, you're bothering somebody else. Like you're putting your problems on them. That's not how it works. I'm not any worse off if you tell me you're having a bad day or you're depressed.
Yeah, I can understand that one because I will listen, but I don't like hearing too much. Like if somebody's going on and on and on about that. If you're saying you're having a bad day or something like that, of course I'll try to console you. I'll try to comfort you. I'll try to be there for you. But like if you go like on and on and on, it's just like it kind of does start bringing me down too. I'm like Jesus, because I'm more of a positive person who does like to surround myself with positivity. So yeah, but I understand it is I probably should change that. I don't know. That's all I have. Make sure you guys subscribe, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed that reaction video, check out the next one. Like click on it now. It's your boy Neal out.